to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, we had Mitsuki explain to her daughter about the weakness of her quirk. How her sweat igniting will be somewhat of a problem if she does want to try and fight Deku. And about how, yes, her quirk is powerful, but it's gonna be a bit weird. Since your quirks are basically bad whenever they get put together. Now, with that, you also have Deku, who is actually looking into and trying to find more about fire quirk weaknesses. He has actually found a case that he kind of found confusing. One doctor talking about how this boy has a weakness to his own quirk. It's very powerful, yes, but even then, the quirk itself seems to be different and difficult. In fact, looking more into it, he's found multiple cases of this. So it doesn't seem to be a rare occurrence. Or at least, not very uncommon. Now, Deku, he is studying this more, as he finds more and more weaknesses to fire. You have ice to worry about, you have electricity, you have really anything else. If you're not able to use your fire a certain way, or you overexert your body, basically you can burn most of the moisture out of your skin. That being a very dangerous point. Along with actually getting dehydrated. So you could have potentially pass out from, well, dehydration. So that is not really good. Now, Deku would keep looking into this, more and more and more. Finding that really his quirk's one true weakness could be something to counter it, and, well, his own body. So, he would decide to try and train his quirk more, as he would get electrolytes and a lot of water. Deciding that he now needs to work on training, so this will be intense, as he would try giving this a shot for a couple days. Inko would notice the changes, or well, somewhat of a tone shift with Deku because of how serious he seems to be getting, thinking that this is odd for a child. But hey, he's having fun, so she would at least keep an eye on him. As one day she would observe him, drinking a lot of water, and heading outside. Him actually trying to do something, as she would watch his skin spark to blue fire. As soon as he would do that, she would have ran out and told him to knock it off, telling him that he shouldn't be doing that. To which Deku would have done one thing, turning and holding out his hand, showing that it's actually not hurting his skin. It's somewhat at a lower temperature, but Deku at least wants to try and get used to or accustomed to this blue flame. So it should be fine. Now, Inko would still be worried still, but yeah, she kinda does get it. It's his own quirk, and she should let him find out about it and learn about it and get used to it, but still, she does worry about her son. Now, Katsuki in this timeline, or basically Bakugo, female Bakugo, she would be nearby. She would see Deku doing this, as she's somewhat taking notes. His quirk usually seems to be regular fire, but if that's his actual quirk, then why can he make blue fire so easily? Her somewhat wanting to look into this, asking her own questions and actually somewhat trying to train. Just like Deku. Now, while that is happening, there is a doctor looking at this case file. Izuku Midoriya. His quirk is similar to a case that he has dealt with for the Todoroki family. So, is this boy related to... No, that cannot be right. Can it? As the doctor would look into this more. Finding Deku's dad's quirk. Fire breathing. So that's just it. Fire breathing, no fire manipulation, no anything. This is odd. Timelines for this boy do not match up. As the doctor just keeps looking into this more and more. Actually somewhat calling in Inko. Telling him that, or telling her that she kinda needs to explain herself a bit. To which she would have been confused. The doctor basically telling her that he's been looking and seeing exactly what's going on. He has an idea of something, but you must be completely honest with me. Please do not lie. Is it possible that you may have a different husband? The doctor basically trying to see exactly what is going on. Inko's somewhat getting defensive. Actually, she's getting really defensive. Telling the doctor that that is ridiculous. Going on and on and on. Until eventually, there would be a bit of a weird conversation. The doctor actually has called an Endeavor. Endeavor, he is confused and annoyed that he had to get out of his patrol for the day to come to the hospital. As he looks at this weird woman in green. He would then turn to the doctor asking exactly what is going on. Yes, well. You brought your son Izuku, correct, ma'am? As she would just say yes. She's not sure what this exactly is, though. The doctor, turning to Endeavor, saying that there is a particular case with your son Toya, correct? His fire quirk. Or cremation, as we labeled it. From what I have seen, both of your son's quirks, they seem to be linked somehow. However, as he would just say that Izuku, the boy we are currently here to discuss, his quirk seems to be working for his body. He does not have this strange or weird alteration where his body is made for an ice quirk. So, I would actually like to commence a bit of a test, if you wouldn't mind. The doctor basically administering a paternity test. There's no way to get around that. Now, whenever it does come back that Endeavor's not Deku's dad, the doctor would have actually been a bit confused and, well, astounded. If two similar quirks can exist at the same time, then that's a bit strange. The quirks, their similarities, and, well, do actually pose a question. How is this actually possible? Well, I mean, everyone shares similarities, but they all do have small differences with their quirks. So they're clearly just missing something here. Deku can turn his down and, well, adjust his heat. Dobby's, however, does possibly seem to only be on intense. Basically keeping the knob at max, as you can say. Keeping things at the highest possible degree. So his fire is clearly more dangerous, since it seems to be more uncontrolled. Now, Endeavor would actually be somewhat intrigued by this. Because if that is true, then that means that Deku has a, well, strong version of what he thought his son's quirk was. Cremation. Fascinating. Now, Endeavor, he's actually somewhat thinking about this. One of his failed projects, somewhat successful in someone else's life. Interesting. Now, this is whenever Endeavor would walk out of the room. And Deku would be looking down at his notebook, taking down notes and actually scribbling in things about different flame heroes. As Deku can hear someone call his voice, or someone call his name. Young man. As Deku would look up, in shock, to see Endeavor. He would begin to freak out for a second, as he would ask for Endeavor for his autograph. Endeavor would hand it over. He would then say, "Young man, I would like to see your quirk. I heard about it. Now, will you please show me its power?" As Deku would actually do so, turning on a flame in his hand as Endeavor sees just regular fire. Somewhat confused, asking if that's it. Deku would just say, "No," as he turns up the heat. His entire hand gets engulfed in fire as it turns blue and actually basically shoots upwards toward the ceiling. Endeavor immediately reacting by just bringing his hand upwards and trying to stop it from hitting the top of the roof. Deku immediately just turning off his flame, as he just starts apologizing. Endeavor, he can actually feel his hand tingle from that, as he would just say, fascinating. Your quirk will be a good fit for a hero. Perhaps one day I will see you again, young man. For now, just understand, you must train hard, and you will be the best." As Endeavor would walk away, Deku being a bit giddy and actually happy. He just met the number 2 hero. It's amazing. He even got his autograph. Now, with that, this is where Deku, he would go to school. A lot of kids actually asking him where did he go yesterday, or where was he at yesterday. Him proudly saying that he met Endeavor. He wanted to see me because of my quirk. I doubt that. No, look, I have his autograph and everything. Deku showing it off. People still don't believe it until the teacher would just say that the doctor had to call Endeavor in because they did have a question. So it actually is a bit true. To which a lot of people would actually be surprised. Deku feeling a lot more, proud of himself. His quirk is strong, it's good, and, if it's able to get someone like Endeavor's attention, then clearly, he will be one of the best heroes. Now, Deku would begin training more and more, actually pushing himself further. At first, he didn't want to use his regular fire, or, use his blue fire, but now he's actually beginning to start pushing his body. Pushing it to where he will be able to use it all the time. Keeping himself on low heat. As he somewhat does similar training to Katsuki. Her usual training is a bit weird, but it's also kind of funny. Her usually just eating really spicy foods and sweating a lot, so that she can use her actual explosions. They would do this for a couple of years. Until Deku is around 7 to 8 years old. And there's a bit of an incident with his quirk. Deku, he is pushing himself while training one day. Actually finding that an abandoned beach would be perfect. He's heard about one nearby, but he can't really go there, so him and Katsuki, they usually just settle for training outside, keeping things at a low level with their quirks. These two actually do see each other as proper friends sometimes, but they're still rivals. You can clearly tell from the joking around and the jokes that the two of them can make that they clearly do at least respect one another, but sometimes it seems more like they're trying to actually kill each other. Yeah, anyways, these two are fighting, and Deku would actually be using his quirk, as he would throw Flame out to his left and throw Flame out to his right, as he would stomp his leg downwards and throw his hand upwards, sending a wave of fire in her direction. As she would do one thing, she would bring her hands up and throw large explosions at it. These are huge, and this would catch a lot of people's attention. They would continue doing this, as eventually they would have been stopped by some local heroes, who would say that they cannot be fighting here. To which these two would somewhat look at them, saying that they're not really fighting, they're just training their quirks. That's what you call training? That's very dangerous with your quirks, kids. Listen, you gotta... Well, I was gonna say go somewhere where you can let loose, but that'd be a bit more difficult. As this hero basically tries to instruct them more and more on this. He would tell them that if they can get permission from their parents to go down to the local beach, you should be safe there. Besides, you just gotta train more. And hey, all that rubble and stuff, or, well, trash, you guys can just get rid of. Clean it. Which is whenever this hero would leave, thinking that he just did something good. But he's a bit wrong in that point. Their definition of cleaning the beach will be different. Because as soon as they get there, they realize exactly how much space they don't have. So Deku and Katsuki, these two would get to work. Instead of cleaning the beach, they start burning and blowing up quite a lot of the trash to train their quirks. Basically, turning everything into dust and or ash whenever they can. These two are actually having quite a bit of fun tearing away at this pile for a long time. Now then, that is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. Sadly, I do have to go to work and I actually had to stop recording because, well, I had to do something else. Now, I do hope you guys understand, and I'll catch you guys later.